Hello, this is Pastor Willie B. O'Neill of the Mount Canaan Full Gospel Church. We thank you for joining our live stream today, and I hope you enjoy the message. Enjoy.
We'd love for you to join us on Sundays. Our first service begins at 8 a.m. and our second worship service begins promptly at 10:30. We look forward to seeing you.
Singing, children ushering. And you know, when we don't participate in the children's Sunday, it loses its significance. It loses its, it don't have as much punch. The word I'm looking for is when my mother and stepfather came to those baseball games that I played in, it seemed like I played it better. And I'm constantly looking up into the stand when I catch the ball to see if they see me. It's not enough to say I love my children and don't invest your time into your children. Am I making any sense here? Amen. We're going to have to make a more conscious effort to put these children first. And if a thing is not promoted, it's not going to go well. We're going to have to promote the children. And when the children sing, we're going to have to push them and let them know even individually that they are doing a great job. Because they are our children. And they could be out on the street doing anything. It's tough now for children. I mean, I have been blessed since I've been pastoring not to have to bury one of our children, as I can remember. But that's because it's some parents that chose to obey these principles I preach. And I'm going to talk more about that because we've been around here 40 years and we have some success stories. Yeah. And I've lived on both sides of obeying principles and not obeying principles. And I enjoy the benefits of obeying much more than I did. Can I get a witness? You know, and I'm coming back with the same principle, the principle of obedience, because I think I want to open up like this. Okay, you can put me on the clock. I want to open up like this. I'm coming from Luke 11:28. Luke 11:28. Okay, I want to open up like this. I want to tell my message to the young people, but I want you to be like you in the den, listening to me talk to the young people in the living room. When I was born, I couldn't understand why I didn't know my dad. And the only way, and back in that day, people didn't talk to you. And when I would shoot marbles with my friends, they would go get their daddies when I won the marbles. And their daddies would come out there and hudge. You remember what we call hudge? Their daddy, and they would cheat and take their son's marbles back. And I'm a snotty-nosed boy, I'm crying going home because I wished I had me a daddy. So I can go tell him, sick him. My point is not how you start out in life. It's how you end up. And I grew bitter. I was angry. I didn't know how angry I was until one day, and you've heard this story before, that I was out in the garden chopping, hoeing in the garden, and my yard was adjacent to my grandmama's yard, and my first cousin ran up in the yard, up into the fence line, and said, "Luke," that's my nickname, "your dad had just been in a bad accident." And when he told me that, she told me that, man, I said, "I wished he was dead." I don't know where that come out. It just came out of me, just, I wished he was dead. And I threw the hoe down, started running and crying. I didn't know all that was in me. And there's a lot of people that have built up anger in them because how life has gone. And they're angry and don't even know it. Man, once you get delivered, you'll probably be a whole different person than what you thought you was. And what I'm trying to relate to you young people, life is not fair. There are some things that come into your life, you didn't choose it, your parents chose it. But you don't have to allow that to cause you to end up in ruins. You don't have to live a life of bitterness. To show you a little glimpse of that bitterness is that I ended up getting married at an early age. While I'm still in high school, still hadn't even got out of high school to even think about going to college, I end up with a baby and married at 18 years old. Where I'm going with this. 18, don't even know what life is about myself. But bitterness will cause you to get in some things before time. Fornication, adultery, and all those things come many times because of bitterness, angry. And it's one thing to be in something and understand it, and it's another thing to be in it and don't understand why you're in it. Just going after the flesh. And some people live their whole lives in that one little old circle. Angry, and the byproduct of anger is all kind of defilement, cussing, and you will draw your kind. And this becomes your world. And you lose sight or don't even discover, never discover the life outside of that misery. Patricia and I, I wish I had my phone. Patricia and I, we took us a picture in first class. First class. She's sitting over there. When we get on, they have our snacks and our water and everything. While everybody get on the plane, we're being ministered to. First class. Plenty of leg space. And give us things to look at TV and whatever, kick back, you know. They have two people that just work for first class to make sure we are ministered to. I'm sure some of you all know what I'm talking about. My point is, and we fly and looking way out over this beautiful sea. And I says to Patricia, This is a long ways from my mama's backyard. And as I said in my opening, to be able to sit there on that balcony every morning looking at the Caribbean Sea, the wind blowing across our faces, all kinds of beautiful birds fly up. They used to people fly up on the porch so we can take their pictures. I said, my. What if my life had gone the other way? I remember I was bitter, angry because, see, you leave a broken relationship, you go into another relationship. If you don't change, you're going to end up in another broken relationship. Do you feel what I'm saying? And now I'm going through divorce. I'm angry because of everything I purchased, because I always wanted to have something. A nice home, one of the first homes that was 512 Harlem Avenue. Derek living there now. I lost that home. I lost the furniture. Sears and Roebuck, they came back and took everything out of the house that I put in the house. You know, they had that thing is, they linked stuff together. You know, so you lose it all. And they told me, said, we just want to come and get the refrigerator. I gave the keys to my cousin, said, well, let them in and get the refrigerator. When I got home, they got the refrigerator, the washing machine, the dryer, the color TV. And I'm down there in the project. You sent me a picture where I used to stay. He used to gas, but he worked for Alabama Gas. Not Alabama Gas anymore, it's Spire. And my point is, which remind me, it's so on time, because I'm on this luxury vacation, and you sent me a picture of where I came from. A long ways. And some people start in the project and die in the project because they never experience change. And change starts with a mindset. Do you know you're looking at a young man that was not couldn't spell well, couldn't read well, but was flown to the White House, the Congress? I sat there with Governor Riley, ate a big old steak bigger than my plate. What's the name of that steakhouse over there, Emerson Suite? Ruth Chris. Man, I'm sitting there saying, oh my goodness. Then the governor puts me on the board of the university. I'm sitting at the university, my first meal. Look, they had a big meal for us initial board members. I don't think I never got one like that. But I'm saying, I'm having to have to figure out which fork to use. I said, now, when my teachers was teaching me this, and if I knew I was going to go like this, I would have paid more attention. I just waited to see which one they picked up, then I picked up. Point. I've been places, I've done things that a lot of people dream about. When I had my operation, I was off from work. I didn't have to live and worry about how my house note was going to be paid, how my car note was going to be paid. All that stuff paid for. I don't just own a house. I got houses that my children live in. Because when God bless your life, He sets you up to be able to bless your children's lives. I'm going somewhere. And so I said, Lord, where did it start? I remember I told y'all that to show you how bitterness will follow you and how it grows. My daddy showed up at that little old 2-room house I had. When I got to the house, see, I was going to Bessemer Tech. I worked in U.S. Pipe, 4012. The next morning, I got up and had to be at school at 8 o'clock at Bessemer Tech, taking drafted. And so when I came home at 1:30 to get ready to go to my job, he there at the house. And he says to me, he said, Luke, can you take me down to my sister's house? And I said yes. And so now me and him in my little old Volkswagen. And he says, Luke, now that you're grown, me and you can hang out, hit some clubs. Now, I looked over at him and gave him a stare. And I said, don't you think this is rather too late? Cut everything in him. I feel that now, the way I spoke it to him. He got out that car. He didn't say anything. I heard him, because that's what bitterness do. I didn't know how angry I was until opportunities like that express. But you know, God, make a long story short, God came to my life. And when I received Jesus Christ into my life, I received love. You cannot love, Sister Shug, until you know what love looks like. Love is forgiving unconditionally. And you know, I got an opportunity to minister to my dad before he died. He was there with my trial sermon. He stopped drinking when I started preaching. How one decision affects a whole lot of other people in your life. And end up counting the money down at the Lutheran church, where my father-in-law was counting the money at the Lutheran church. Who could have set anything up like that? All because I made a decision to obey God. I want you to look at the passage of scripture, read it to me. But he said, blessed are they that hear the word of God, and not those that just hear the word. Because you have a lot of people in the church that's here now that just love good sermons. Just want to be ears tickled. I want to shout. Some folk go to church and shout. Man, I got my shouting shoes on today. Listen, the word, young people, is not just for shouting. It's for living. And this word will change your life if you act on it. In Luke 5, 1 through 11, and I'll talk you through the story because of the sake of time. In Luke 5, 1 through 11, it talks about Jesus was preaching. And he was up on the people because the crowds was enthroned in him. And so he used Peter's boat as a floating raft. He asked Peter, could he use the boat to launch him out? That was the first yes. That yes led to another opportunity to say yes. When Jesus asked him to go to launch out into the deep. And Peter being a professional fisherman, could have said, man, you stick to preaching and I'll stick to fishing. I fished all night, hadn't caught anything, and you don't catch fish in the daytime in the Gennesaret Sea. But no, he said, but at your word, he said yes. And as a result of saying yes to God, it not only blessed his life, it blessed the people that heard Jesus because they could hear him more clearer now that he's out from him. He blessed the people that's in the ships around him. Lives was blessed as results of one man saying yes. Amen. He said to Peter, I want you to catch this. He said to the future apostle, launch out into the deep. Peter didn't know at that time he was a future apostle, but that yes led him to becoming the future apostle. Amen. There are opportunities that comes like they seem minute, they seem minor, they seem like it's no big deal. But if you say yes to God in the small matters, you'll be surprised what blessings will come behind it. Okay, so to run along, so three things I want you to see from the last time we talked together. Obeying God in small matters is an essential step in receiving God's greatest blessings. Obeying God in small matters is an essential step to greater blessings. Is there anything God been gnawing at you about? Challenging you to do? And you've been putting it off? You're constantly asking God to bless you. Asking God to open doors for you. And God has challenged you to do this. And you just keep putting it off. Notice Peter responded immediately. It's important when you hear God to respond immediately. Because if not, the devil will talk you out of it. I was building a tree house at 12 years old. And when the bells start tolling in the valley for revival, with no parents telling me to get down and go to church, I got down at 12 years old and went to church, sat on the mourner's bench, and gave my life to Jesus. And it started the cycle, the positive cycle in my life. You have to start somewhere. Second, our obedience always benefit others. Our obedience always benefit others. Brother Cunningham, you tell your testimony. Sister Cunningham, I need to use your testimony this morning. And that is, she was in 8 o'clock. That is, listen, Brother Kenneth Cunningham heard a word that challenged him. And he made a decision to break away from the traditional church he was going to come over here, down up under this hill, a radical church, and wasn't nothing on the hill but an old ragged building. But he heard something in the building that changed his life. Amen. His wife was against him making that decision. But being the head, he lovingly made that decision. He used to leave notes on the refrigerator. Honey, I'm gone. I'm believing God that one day, there you are right there. One day you will join me. I hope I'm telling it right. And that's the testimony at that stage. Over 30 years later, Sister Cunningham grabs me one day and hugs me and whispers in my ear and says, I'm so glad Kenny didn't listen to me. And he came and joined this church. Amen. Some things men have to make a decision and stand there. I'd rather for you to be angry at me now and happy with me later. And and I'm going somewhere that one decision not only blessed his wife's life, but it blessed his son's life. And his son is at the top of his game. You hear what I'm saying? And I love seeing him on Facebook with that hat on, with a motivational speech for us early in the morning. But had not his daddy, and then I think it's General Petraeus, his other boy ended up being ministered in the aid to one of the highest generals in the armed forces. You hear what I'm saying? That didn't just happen. A man said, I want something different. I just can't keep on doing the status quo. I want something different. I see the way my brothers and my cousins has gone. I don't want a life for that. My children, I want something different.
Jesus. Yes, Lord.
You have to break away. You're not going to just ease away. You got to break away. Because those spirits will pull you back in. The day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. I was sitting there and I thought about BB and Frankie when her son was up here talking. And had Frankie made a decision not to follow, and BB not to follow, where would this man be? Where would his son over there on the drums be? Yeah, they go through hell, but you know what? Raise them up in the way they should go. And when they're old, they will not. Don't tell me what my son been. Let's talk about what my son is now. And what I'm saying is, when you choose to obey God, you gonna get some positive results. But can you wait? As I look around, and the other day, 2 years ago, I was down. Yeah, it's been 2 years. I was down Birmingham on the prestigious side. And I came out of the store, and I saw Brother Malden's son, sharp as a tack, standing about his limousine. Come to find out, he was the mayor's attendant. He looked out for the mayor. Out of the whole police force, they chose him. They had to see something different. When I look around in this church and I see certain parents that chose to follow the principle. No, they didn't make it miss it. They hit and miss it from time. But it was in their heart. Are you hear what I'm saying? None of us are perfect. But it's just in my heart. And as a result, I see God's hand on their children and their children's children. I was preaching today in the 8 o'clock service and looked up there in that balcony in that corner was full of my grandchildren. Are you hear what I'm saying? And I said, they grown. Are you hear what I'm saying? They don't have to be here. But because they saw something in their mama and their daddy, are you hear what I'm saying? They are here. Folk recognize when you live in truth. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that when I see different ones, children that's still in this church, and they living lives the best they can. But Lord, I am amazed. And then this past week I went out of town, and I asked my brother to preach for me. Now this guy, if you don't mind, I loan him my pants and I get them back because have been smoking grass and got holes all in them. He was one of them cool. He ran the gang. He was the gang leader. Everybody was following him. He had a old van, put coffee and shag coffee in back in the day, you know. And he told me, I want to give my life to the Lord. I asked him, what made you make that decision? He said, I saw you. I saw you. Now I'm talking to my sister in New York. We talk almost on a daily basis. Her life has changed. And y'all know my mama. My mama is going whole for God. Y'all hear me saying? And I'm saying if I had not changed, I need to say this. My mother used to drink. I drink with my mother. We had a beer, 45s. You know, when I would Coke 45s, I buy a 24 pack. Yeah, the man, and we were drinking there, and she was taking nerve pills, and she told me I was taking her nerve pills. She'd give me her nerve pills. And then I started taking her nerve pills, so she said, go to your doctor, he'll give you some. That's what you have to do when you're living outside of the will of God. But I'm telling you, and I want to say this, you young people are on your plight to life, and you see all these stuff on television, these cars, these Jaguars, you went with these briefcases, all that's good. But before you pursue that, pursue your peace. Yes. Pursue your joy. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you can get all that and still not have peace. You can get all that and not have joy. And one of the saddest things in life is have a whole lot of stuff and no peace. Now, I'm going to close with this here. I just told y'all I'd been in the White House. I've been on the board of the university. I bought houses and things. I'm Dr. O'Neill.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dr. Willie B. I go to the airport. They said, that's Dr. O'Neill. Hey, Dr. O'Neill. Hey. But when I come home, I'm Patricia O'Neill's husband. So, talking about the principle of obedience or obeying God's word. And to obey God's word, you have to suffer. This thing here done got me in more trouble. The other day, we come home flew in, we in the hotel. Them beds so tight. But anyway, I'm laying up there in the bed, and the game on. Man, them Dodgers, and them Boston Red Sox, they played 17 innings. I think 18 innings. Yeah, I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I had TV turned down low. And I was trying to see who was going to win this game. It's a duel, man. It's 2-2. And she go to the bathroom, come back, and said, turn that TV off. I'm Dr. O'Neill. You don't talk to me like that. We're trying to get some sleep right here, and that light on that TV, turn that TV off. Ooh. At that point, I had to make a decision. My manhood had been challenged. Do I turn the TV off? I show who I am. Grab that and hit it. Turned over. Went to sleep. See, when you win one challenge, you got to try to win another. Because you're always challenged. So I done got home, and them Dodgers playing again. I mean, the first few innings, man, it was 0-0. And then Mississippi State was on. And my son, grandson, he played tight end. So, we lost that last game, so we can win this one. And they can't win unless I'm watching. And I'm tired, been out of town, and I'm going like this here. I'm watching my TV. So he came to me and said, well, you got a TV in the bedroom. Go in the bedroom and watch that TV. I went to the bedroom and she laying up there looking at her pictures, her big old thing in her laptop, looking at her pictures from Aruba with her earphones on, listening to her music. So I grabbed it and who told you to turn my TV? My TV. I said, you wasn't looking at it. You didn't ask me. I said, hell. She said, you cussing now. I done got so far out there. I said, I'm going to put a TV on this wall over here. It took me all in the world. See, I'm sorry. You said you're sorry, but you didn't tell me, you didn't say you're sorry for what? I'm sorry for getting it and the remote and changing the station without asking you. And all I hear in my ear is, you bought all this. You Dr. O'Neill. And I had to go against all of that to die like a worm and say, honey, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm sorry is the only word in the English language that gives us an opportunity to start all over again. Out of all the success I have achieved in life from obeying principles does not negate the fact that I must continue to obey the very same principles that has gotten me to where I am and that has held my family together for the last 44 years. Principles. Obedience to principle. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. But God, she bossy. She's stubborn. She don't listen to me. When we were yet sinners, Christ died for the ungodly. He didn't wait till we got right to die. He died when we're dead wrong. When shall I die? To Patricia. When in my eyes, she's wrong. Change don't start until I choose to die. Farmers love dead stuff because dead stuff promote growth. Let's bow for prayer. All over the room. I want you to give that anger, give that bitterness, give that strife. If you only knew what God wanted to take you, you'd give it up. Yeah, your daddy didn't do what he's supposed to do, but it's your time now. God want to bless you. God wants to bless you. And if you're here, this is Pastor Willie B. O'Neill of the Mount Canaan Full Gospel Church of Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you for tuning in to our weekly service. We hope that you have been blessed by today's message. Please know that you are welcome to come out and share with us on any given Sunday. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. Please click on the bell to be notified of any new uploads. And we thank you for joining us today.
We'd love for you to join us. Our Sunday morning service is at 8 a.m. Our Sunday morning worship begins at 10:30 a.m. Bible classes convene on Wednesdays at noon and 7 p.m.